Let's begin with number 10, the spotlight effect. You think everyone's looking at you? They're not. They're too busy wondering if their breath smells like existential dread. You walk into a room, suddenly become a fashion critic of your own outfit, and think, oh God, everyone saw me trip over that imaginary line. Nope, they didn't. Why? Because everyone else is too busy thinking the same thing about themselves. Your brain is playing the Truman Show, only nobody's watching. The truth? You're not under a spotlight. You're just under bad lighting and a worse mental filter. You're not being judged. You're just assuming the world is your mirror. But no one cares about your pimple or your posture. They're trying to survive their own panic spiral. The sad part, you've skipped entire opportunities just to avoid an audience that never existed. And the worst part, you still think they noticed you didn't try. You don't need invisibility. You already have it. Use it. Here comes number 9, the false consensus bias. You think your opinions are logical, popular, universally accepted? Let me guess. You also think pineapple belongs on pizza. Here's the thing. Your brain loves believing it's right, and it assumes everyone else must agree. Because disagreement feels like a personal attack. Wait, you don't like the movie I like? You must be broken. Nah, they're just not you, and that's probably a good thing. You've built an echo chamber. Congratulations. You've invented social media in your skull. You think everyone's nodding along, but that's just your ego echoing in a tunnel. Diversity of thought isn't dangerous. Your insecurity just thinks it is. The irony? You'd learn more if you stopped trying to prove you already know. You're not being challenged. You're being coddled by your own filters. Truth doesn't need approval, but your ego, it can't breathe without it. The next one is painfully relatable. Here's number 8, the illusion of transparency. You think everyone can see how awkward and nervous you are? That they can smell your anxiety through the screen? They can't. You're not broadcasting your panic on an HD live stream. You're just sweating slightly and making weird eye contact. People aren't telepathic. They're telepathetic. Most of them are too busy wondering if they left the stove on or if that text was too much. You think you're leaking your emotions. Reality? You're a sealed jar of mental chaos that no one noticed. Your fear of being obvious is more visible to you than to anyone else. Most people are too emotionally constipated to notice your nervous blinking. You're not screaming vulnerability. You're whispering discomfort in a language no one speaks. So go ahead, be anxious. No one's decoding it. They're too busy pretending to be okay too. This one will hurt a little. Number 7, your brain rewrites memories. Oh, you trust your memories? That's adorable. Every time you remember something, your brain edits it, adds some drama, deletes some facts, applies an Instagram filter. That argument from 2017? It's now a Netflix drama where you were 100% right and they were the villain. Your past? It's not a timeline. It's a collage, made by a drunk artist with memory issues. You remember emotions, not accuracy, and even those get a plot twist. What you swear happened might be emotional fan fiction, not a documentary. But go ahead, rewrite history and call it healing. Your memory is a mood ring with a grudge. It doesn't record, it retells. And you're the unreliable narrator. We're halfway through. Number 6, most of your thoughts aren't even yours. Let that sink in. Actually, no, let it slap you. The thoughts you obsess over, most of them are hand-me-downs. From your mom, your 3rd grade teacher, that one weird uncle, the algorithm. You didn't think them. You adopted them, like stray cats, and now they're scratching at your sanity. Ask yourself, did I choose this thought, or did I just forget where I copied it from? If your brain was a computer, it'd be flagged for copyright infringement. You're not thinking, you're replaying other people's greatest fears. Your mental playlist was burned onto a CD when you were 7. You're not original. You're just a very consistent parrot. It's not thought, it's residue. And the first step to clarity is uninstalling the stuff you didn't choose. You'll never hear your inner voice the same after number 5. You trust repetition more than truth. If you hear something enough times, it becomes real. Even if it's nonsense, especially if it's nonsense. Say something once. Meh. Say it 100 times. Wow, that must be true. This is how propaganda works. This is how marketing works. This is how your internal shame playlist got stuck on repeat. And guess what? You're the DJ. Break the loop. When a thought keeps popping up like an annoying ad, ask, is this fact or just a greatest hits album of my anxiety? Your mind rewards familiarity, not accuracy. That's why lies feel cozy. It's not the truth that sticks, it's the jingle. So if you're repeating, I'm not enough, maybe it's time to change the station, because the real danger isn't the first lie, it's the 1,000th echo. Time to confront the invisible. Number 4. Blind spots, literally and emotionally. There's a hole in your eye. Right now, it's called the blind spot. You never see it, because your brain makes stuff up to cover it. And that's a metaphor for your entire life. You've got emotional blind spots too. Traumas you won't touch, truths you can't face. Your brain doesn't delete them. It just decorates over them. You think you're seeing reality? Nah. You're seeing a PowerPoint presentation your brain threw together last minute, with stock images and a broken projector. Denial isn't a defense mechanism. It's an interior designer. You've wallpapered over wounds and called it stability. But guess what bleeds through nice patterns? Reality. What you refuse to see becomes what quietly rules you. Let's crack the illusion with number 3, the I'll be happy when delusion. You'll finally be happy when you get the job, when you lose 10 pounds, when your ex texts back, when Mercury stops doing cartwheels. The problem? That moment comes, and you're still not happy, because your brain moved the goalpost while you were busy celebrating. It's not chasing joy, it's chasing the illusion of almost there. You've been dragging happiness like a carrot on a stick and calling it ambition. But fulfillment isn't a checkpoint, it's a decision. And your brain? It's terrible at knowing when to stop running. Every finish line becomes a new starting line, just without the excitement. And the longer you chase when, the more you miss the fact that now already exists. You're not waiting for happiness, you're running from it. This one stings. Here's number 2, the productivity illusion. You equate being busy with being valuable. You measure self-worth in crossed-off to-do lists and sleepless nights. But movement isn't meaning. You're not a machine. You're a very tired mammal pretending to be software. You've confused burnout with progress and exhaustion with purpose. You're not achieving. You're distracting yourself from stillness. Sometimes, the most productive thing you can do is unlearn the idea that rest is laziness. Because capitalism lied. It told you your value was output, but you're not a printer, you're a person. And no one gets to audit your soul based on email replies. And finally, number 1, the self-improvement trap. You think healing means fixing yourself. But what if it just means finally accepting that you're not broken, just weird and misprogrammed like the rest of us? Your obsession with improvement might just be your perfectionism in a new outfit. You're not leveling up. You're just redecorating the prison. You don't need more upgrades. You need a jailbreak. Maybe it's not about becoming a better you. Maybe it's about being okay with the mess you already are. You can't keep self-helping your way out of being human. At some point, growth looks like sitting still and not cringing at yourself. You are not a project. You are a paradox, and that's allowed. If you made it to the end, congrats. You're either self-aware or too emotionally numb to flinch anymore. Drop your favorite number in the comments, or just type #2wreckedme. So the algorithm thinks this was a productivity tutorial. Like it, share it, confuse someone else's brain, because if we're all living in simulations, we might as well make ours weird.